Well, hi everybody. Good morning to meteorologist Travis Klineski here on this Tuesday morning where we have an area of low pressure kind of right here. Warm front that drapes to the east across central Iowa, and then a cold front right in here. This frontal boundary right here is actually attached to a low pressure system right here, which is going to develop and lift a warm front back to the north right in here. So it's going to be a hot day south of this boundary, wherever that ends up being, which should be roughly right in here. Much cooler to the northwest. Now, most of us will still be humid as well. There will be a little push of dry air that comes into southwest Nebraska, though. As we play things out, partly to mostly sunny skies, thick clouds to the northwest, though, especially right in here. And then showers and thunderstorms start to fire late this afternoon. A little isolated activity, smaller chances here. Much of what we'll see will come with the development of more widespread storms out west this evening and then pushing east across the area. Now, again, maybe some isolated stuff farther east, but most of what will happen is developing here and pushing eastward. Severe weather, we've got a good shot at severe weather this evening. The other thing we're going to have to watch for is some localized heavy rainfall with slow-moving storms and dumping in a quick amount of time. We could be talking about rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour, maybe higher. There's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere out there. Severe weather, though, also a possibility later on during the evening and overnight hours tonight. Even after midnight, I would not rule out a little severe weather, although eventually this will weaken later in the night. By tomorrow morning, no more severe weather, but still some lingering showers and isolated thunderstorms to start off for Wednesday. And the chances get lower as the day goes on. Tomorrow, much lower chance in the afternoon. Cooler temperatures for all of us now behind the cold front on Wednesday night. Most of us will stay dry. There is going to be a low-end chance of rain and isolated thunderstorms. I think the best chance will be out west with any of this that tries to move in here. So, Storm Prediction Center. It looks like maybe a new update just came out. Yeah, this just came out from the Storm Prediction Center as of the time of this recording here. They usually wait till 8 o'clock in the morning. For some reason, they've been doing it earlier the last couple of days. But the biggest change, basically, they have bumped this area into a slight risk. The marginal risk was always in Kansas here, but they had far southwest Nebraska right in here under a marginal risk. So they have bumped this up to a slight risk of severe weather. Everybody else still under a slight risk of severe weather, except those areas that were hit hardest yesterday. Marginal risk up here to the north here. Biggest threat, damaging wind gusts with these storms, including an area that has been highlighted with a chance of slightly more significant wind gusts exceeding 70 miles per hour right in here. I'd especially say north of Interstate 80, south of Highway 20 is the area we would be looking for that chance here. And because of this threat, I have decided to go with a weather alert day for the North Platte area watching on KNOP, if you're watching on News 2 there, and for the KSB viewing area as well. Again, not all of us will see it, but again, a large part of our area, especially north of Interstate 80, will be impacted. There is a little bit of a hail threat as well, especially with those early storms out west. So some isolated large hail possibility. The Storm Prediction Center doesn't have anybody highlighted in any kind of tornado risk. Everything's under 2%. That said, I would not rule out a very isolated tornado. It's just the chance is pretty low. Again, it's under 2% that we would see a tornado threat. Plus, some are going to see hot and humid weather again for today. And so I've also gone with the weather alert day for the KSB viewing area, the Local 4 viewing area, because of the high heat and humidity. Heat advisory in place from noon today until 8 o'clock this evening. Heat index values could once again exceed 105 in those locations there. In fact, as we look at our future heat index product, you can see 105, maybe as high as 110 in some cases. Again, a little cooler to the west and to the northwest, not as hot to the northwest behind our frontal boundary here. And then, of course, with the drop in temperatures this evening, plus the rain moving in, that'll help as well. Actual temperatures today topping out in the 80s and 90s, hotter the farther south you go. Again, our boundary, roughly that area here, will make a big difference. It will be cooler north of that boundary, hot to the south of it, much, much cooler to the northwest because of not only the cooler weather, but also maybe some extra clouds in those locations there. Looking at a closer look around the area here, we'll go to the northwest first, where the coolest temperatures will be. 70s way up to the northwest, otherwise 80s, including upper 80s around Ord, mid 80s around Burwell and Broken Bow, 86 around Stapleton, 84 in Arthur. Gonna be hot and dry weather right in here. Temperatures in the upper 90s around McCook and Trenton, and north of that here, where it depends on how far north that front can get. There's a chance North Platte and Ogallala could push low and mid 90s if the front can get far enough north. If it doesn't, maybe upper 80s today. We'll see. But again, your hottest temperatures right in here along the Nebraska-Kansas border. 93 around Kearney, 91 for Loop City. We'll go with low, mid-90s for most of these areas here, but maybe upper 90s around Lincoln. Urban heat does have an impact. The urban heat island there. A lot more concrete can heat up more. Could also see maybe a couple of upper 90s along the Nebraska and Kansas border. Maybe low 90s around St. Paul, 93 for Osceola, 94 for York. And then low 90s, Blair, all the way back to Columbus and Fullerton, and then it's upper 80s and then mid 80s here, maybe even low 80s around O'Neill. So again, as you go to the northwest, it does get a little bit cooler in those locations there. So let's look at today's temperatures. Tonight, we'll dip back into the 60s to near 70 by tomorrow morning. Looking at tomorrow, everybody gets to enjoy the cooler weather, mid to upper 70s and lower 80s. And look at the nights are going to be nicer too. Upper 50s, low to mid 60s. Mid to upper 70s and low 80s again on Thursday. Thursday and Friday likely are two coolest days ahead. Look at those lows Thursday night, Friday morning. That's like open the windows kind of air right there. That's nice. Friday looks good. Mostly 70s for highs. Some warmer air out west, which will start to budge eastward as we head into the weekend and early next week. Looking at the long range forecast here. Again, I repeat, I have gone with a severe weather alert day for today. One, because of the heat and humidity. Heat index values as high as 105 in the Tri-Cities. We could see then the storms tonight. Cooler weather to come in the coming days ahead. Smaller chances of rain after today. In fact, most of Thursday and Friday will be dry. Small chance on Saturday, not a great chance. Better chance Saturday night and Sunday. And then a small chance on Monday. Temperatures do start to inch back up Sunday, Monday, and beyond. We'll see those temperatures continuing to work their way up closer to 90 as we get towards the middle of next week. North Platte, again, after a fairly toasty day today, or at least close to 90, could make it low and mid 90s if that front comes far enough north. Storm chances are pretty likely tonight. So I'm deciding to go with the weather alert day for tonight for the severe weather threat and maybe some locally heavy rainfall. Cooler days ahead after tomorrow, early tomorrow morning. The chances of rain are lower. There is a slight chance tomorrow night. Mostly dry Thursday and Friday. Small chance Friday night. Slightly better chance Saturday night. Temperatures do start to inch up this weekend into next week as we'll get closer to average upper 80s and lower 90s by the middle of next week. Well, everybody, I want to thank you all for watching on this Tuesday morning. I will be back with you, enjoying the cooler weather with you as we look ahead to your Wednesday. Until then, take care and God bless. Bye.